by the power of Grayskull.
To another episode of the Zero Box Price podcast, the podcast that serves you 3 scoops of pop culture. And I'm here with my Kawabunga, Ultra Combiner, Devastator, Form Ortiz, Gold Voltron, the man with the plans, the blueprint master, the key master himself, my co-host, Aaron Smelzer. Aaron, what's up and what is going on, man?
Oh man, I love that. Like that just makes my day when you come with all these random pop culture combiner, the keymaster. I love that, man. I'm drinking some Coke to try to freaking get on your level. I texted you. I said, man, I need to wake up so I can get on your level. I need to wake up like an hour early before we do this.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. Our schedules have been, different, and usually, like I said, we film this at night, but we're doing this on a Monday in the afternoon. But we're here, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously, Aaron, our favorite, the Hollis Flea Market just opened up, and man, can we talk about that first day? Because I mean, I really did feel like Sub-Zero was like freezing my hands that day. I got there. I think I got there around like 6:30 in the morning, but I was not expecting how cold it was that first opening day.
Well, it was funny because I got there. I got there probably a little earlier than you did, and I was wearing gloves and a hat, and obviously my mask and all this other stuff, and I was all bundled up. And I think it was Dave. Dave started mocking me, right? Like he's like, "Oh, what do you need gloves for? It's not that cold." About 30 minutes later, he was like, "Oh, Aaron's the smart one with gloves." he changed his story real quick. Yeah, it was cold, man. It was fun though. It was a good time. And then all of a sudden, you're like, the post office, nor hail, nor sleet, nor wind, nor rain, we will be there. And like, you made that comment of like, it doesn't matter if it's, negative 25 degrees. If there's toys to be had, we're going to the flea market.
Oh man, yeah, it was so freezing. Like Dave showed up, and for those listening, Dave is our local toy guru that gives us great deals on toys. But he showed up with a truckload. Like, I mean, we've been going here for about two years now, almost 3. And like, I have never seen Dave come out with so many boxes of toys, man. And I was really surprised that there was like a couple people there early in the morning already grabbing things, man. In a way, I was a little overwhelmed. I was like a fat kid at a candy store. I didn't even know where to look at, man.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it to you that week. It was like I'd never seen you pick up so much stuff. Like, normally it's me buying everything, and then all of a sudden I look at my pile, and my pile is like a dismal, little pile compared to yours. You were like, "Oh, I'm getting this and I'm getting that." And I know you've been going down a few rabbit holes recently. I know you've been picking up some Power Rangers and you've been picking up some He-Mans. And I'm like, I just shook my head. I said, Steve, you're going down the dark side path.
Oh my God, yeah, my pile looked like the Mount Fuji of like toys. It was so big, and like you said, like I've been dabbling in like G.I. Joes, Power Rangers, and then Dave had like in the box. I'm looking through, and I thought that I was done picking what I wanted to pick through. Then I see this box just on the floor, and as I'm going through it, it's the Power Rangers with the morphin heads. Yeah. And after watching the Toys That Made Us, and they said that was their most popular sold out Power Rangers toy line of the figures when the line first came out. And I was like, Oh my God, the Green Ranger's here, the Pink Ranger, the Black Ranger. Like Dave had all of them. And I think you told me that like for the weapons, they combined to make that big giant like super combo devastating weapon that they make. So I've been looking online for some of the weapons and stuff, man. And man, like, it's funny, man, because like this past weekend we went to the flea market and we were talking about parts. And like certain people on eBay where like you'll find like, let's say like a Star Wars ship, and they just like strip it apart and it's just a shell. But if you want to buy like one gun, it's like $25, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and I got to go through my stuff. I'm pretty sure I did find one. I have one of Billy's weapons from the flip heads. I told you the other day. I just got to go through it because I had tons of freaking Power Ranger stuff. I still do, but I was buying big lots years ago and kind of piecing what I wanted to piece together. And the flip heads were very popular. I was easy. When I was flipping those. No pun intended. I was flipping the flip heads, because I like the big 8-inch, ones, and the 8-inch figures and the originals. Well, the ones that I got into though were the movie line because they were like chrome.
Yep.
I picked up a few from Dave last year, and I've had a few from previous finds but they made the 8-inch chrome Power Rangers figures, and then they made the small, the flip head, they weren't flip heads, but they were that size. They were like the 4 or 5-inch, whatever they are. And but no, I just got to go through my stuff. I did find one weapon, so I'll bring that to you next week. And I should have some more, so we should. That's the cool thing about Steve and I, though. We always share the wealth with each other, because it's funny, I started getting into Mighty Max, and I was like, all right, and I had a few as a kid, but I just like the nostalgia of them. I just like the kind of ways that they transform, and how the little pieces, I know one of the, I got the snake, and then I guess the scorpion that goes with the snake playset. He's like the tail of the rattlesnake when you close it. There's just certain things that I don't know. I think it's cool. So I've been getting into Mighty Max lately.
No, that's awesome, man. It's just funny, like you don't know what certain toy line you'll get in. Like I said, I wasn't really a Masters of the Universe collector, and then right behind me now I have Masters, and I wasn't big on GI Joe, and now I'm collecting GI Joe. So once I go down a rabbit hole, now it's Power Rangers, and I'm like, okay, my room is gonna look like a toy museum. I'm gonna have to charge people just to come into my bedroom and look at all these toys, $5, man.
Hold on a second. You start charging people to come into your bedroom. I think that's prostitution.
Hey, there's some guy having a prostitution toy ring out of his bedroom, man.
That's how you lure a girl to come look at my toys. Okay, now I gotta charge you.
Oh my god, that's hilarious, man. But yeah, so yeah, like speaking of weapons and parts, and people stripping down shells and put them on eBay for sale. It's funny because I was telling Dave, I'm like, man, that would be a hilarious comedy sketch. It's how people strip cars and they steal them, they bring them to the shop.
Yeah.
I could just imagine a guy just driving in hey man, I got your Ecto 1 here from Kenner. All right, strip the door, strip the tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put the shell up on eBay for $5.
It's crazy, man. And we've talked about that before, trying to piece together that figure. And, you and I both know that we pick up stuff when we can, and then, we'll try to complete it later. Because, sometimes it's just it's the passion of the opportunity to oh man, when you bought the Technodrome, it's okay, it's missing everything, but it's a Technodrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got the shell, but it doesn't have this piece or that piece. And I remember I was piecing together the mutant module.
Yep.
The driller. Well, what people don't freaking realize is that on the front of the mutant module, there was I think there's 12 or 14 of these tiny little purple missiles. And they're probably the size of your pinky nail. They're these tiny little rubber purple missiles.
Oh, wow.
And there was 14 of them. So going on eBay, and this was a couple years ago now, so I can't even imagine what they go for now. I'll probably just do a quick eBay search. But, I was trying to complete these damn freaking missiles. People want, $10 a missile, and they're the size of your freaking pinky.
Well, that's what's insane about for me, I'm not a completionist. So if I find like you said, Aaron, you helped me find that Technodrome, last summer at the flea market, and I haven't really pieced it together yet. For me, I'm more okay, I have the shell, I can look at it. If I run into the parts, I will. But sometimes I just can't see myself spending $80 on just a part, because I can use those $80 to get a figure, or maybe take the 80, put it aside so I can get a complete Technodrome.
Yeah.
You know, so why pay I don't know, like and I know to each one their own, but like
Yeah.
I'm that guy that's like, oh, for example, I'm trying to combine a GoBot and I'm trying to do a Devastator. I
Right.
just found two of the cars over the flea market this past weekend, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I found two of the cars. I'm gonna do it like this. If I find
Yeah.
it, I find it. So
Yeah. So I just did a quick eBay search. There's 12. There's 12 of those little. They're called the drill bits that attach to the front. There's 12 of them. 6 of them sold for $45. So what is that? Like $7? Just a little bit, like $7.25 a piece.
yeah,
So
yeah.
and you need 12 of those.
Jeez.
So that's half. Like, let's say you found one with nothing. So that's $90 just for those parts. But then, Dave brought up a good point too. Was like, if you and this is why people do it, because it makes sense to do it. If you set, like, because we were talking about the Jurassic Park compound, right?
Right.
That thing has, I don't know, freaking 50 pieces. I had one as a kid. I think my dad still has it somewhere. And, like, I was like, okay, this is cool. But, like, I can see there was the egg incubator piece. There's this piece. There's that piece. Well, a full, complete one may sell for, let's say, $100, right? $120 plus $50 shipping, because the thing is freaking ginormous, right?
Right.
But if you sell the fencing, if you sell this, if you sell that, you can probably make, if you had a complete one and parted it out, you could probably make $300 to $400, because people that have them need just one piece to complete it. And there's that supply and demand chain,
Right.
It's like, okay, like, how many of these pieces, are out there? Well, once you have a complete one, you're like, well, this is stupid. I just spent $400 to complete this thing, and it's only worth $100. But if you sit there and say, okay, well, I'm going to part it out, then you can make your money back. Which is it is so ass backwards. It's not even funny.
Yeah, well, Dave told us a funny story this past weekend at the market where he had a I forgot what ship it was. I don't think it was a Millennium Falcon. It was another ship. I forgot what.
No, it was the shuttle. It was the shuttle, the Imperial shuttle.
Yes, Star Trek, the Imperial shuttle from Star Trek, right?
From Star Wars.
Sorry. Duh.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven, you're not a true nerd. Why do you have a podcast talking about pop culture?
Yeah, it was the Imperial shuttle that like he had, and he had a few parts. I guess he was digging through that bin or whatever that somebody had just sold him, and because all the vendors know that that Dave's the toy guy, so it's like, okay, we're just gonna go to him and we'll dump our stuff there. And Steve and I are just like, what'd you get, man? What'd you get? Come on, let's go through it.
Yeah, and Dave was telling us like he had an Imperial shuttle in the box at like his shop, and he put it on eBay. Nobody came, nobody was selling it, so he's like, you know what? Let me just put the parts up online.
Yeah.
So, he took it apart, because obviously he has a store, he has to make money. And the funny thing about it is that somebody actually came into the store after he dismantled it apart and was like, hey, Imperial Shutter in the box, like, can I grab that? And Dave's like, oh, God. Because now he has to put everything all back together, man.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny, Aaron, like, I think sometimes the parts are worth more than the figure actually complete. Like, I think you're making more money off the parts than the actual thing complete sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was just kind of like how everything's so backwards, because, like, I don't know, let's say you go online and you want a complete, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something like Casey Jones, right? Because Casey Jones has like 5 or 6 parts. He's got the backpack, he's got the 2 bats and the golf club, right? You probably complete Casey Jones. I don't know. Last time I looked, probably $25. But like, you want to buy one bat, that's
right.
That's $10. So if you had that, you want to buy the backpack, that's $15. You want to buy, and so like if you did it that way, it's almost better to buy the complete figure than try to piece it out, because probably in the long run you're probably unless you're finding this stuff at like yard sales and flea markets or buying bulk lots. Like, that's what I used to do. I used to buy bulk, so I'd say, okay, I'm going to spend $150 on this lot on eBay. I'm going to pull out these 6 parts that I need, and then I'm going to flip the lot back on eBay. That's what I used to do. I haven't done that in years, but that's how I got a lot of my parts to complete my stuff.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like the more we get into this toy collecting hobby, and the more you start seeing how certain people make their money. Now, I'm not a quote unquote flipper. Like I'm not buying things to resell to make money, but sometimes at the flea market, if I have a figure that I already have, I'll pick them up and then I'll try to sell it to somebody or I'll try to trade it.
Right.
Because again, this is a very expensive hobby and it's getting even more expensive. I mean, like I just dropped on Big Bad Toy Store. I just pre-ordered the cartoon NECA Raphael, which is like, I mean, the Donatello, which is like this big. It's like a quarter inch, and that's already $130 just for that figure alone.
Yeah.
So you figured it's like, okay, even if you pick up doubles or you resell, the money that you're making from it, it's going back into your toy collection.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not a I don't know. I'm not a scumbag reseller that's going to like Targets and Walmarts and
Right.
like, oh, give me these, like that guy that was in what was it, Target a couple months, maybe it was the last podcast or the one before, where he's like, oh, you want this? It's in my cart. You have to pay me $10 to get it out of my cart.
Yeah, the guy was actually trying to sell me in the store while I'm in the store, like some Masters of the Universe figures that he had in the cart.
Yeah.
Like how are you telling me that I need to pay you? So what, I'm paying $30, 15 to you, and then 15 back at the cash register? Like, get the hell out of here, man. Like
I would have taken that thing out of his cart and just ran to the front of the store.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, really, you really want me to pay that? Like, that's crazy, man. And that's to the point where we're at, man. And it's just like, I love toy collecting. Obviously, we love it. It's a great hobby. Once you start getting now, here's a question for you, Aaron. What do you think is more expensive collecting, modern figures or vintage right now?
Whew. I would still say vintage. I mean,
Yeah,
I think because here's the thing, right? You never know the production runs of some of these toys. All of the toy production company, unless it's like NECA and it says, okay, it's limited to 3,000 pieces, or some of these independent toy companies that say, okay, it's limited to the X amount of pieces. You really never know how many pieces are out there. So obviously the scarcity of the item drives up the price. Now, can you say, okay, if I found G.I. Joe Classified, like if I found a Cobra Viper, on the shelf right now, if you bought it for 20, you could sell it online right now for $100 to $120. Okay.
Right.
So sure, is that a good return on your investment? Yeah. But at the same time, how many, you never know when freaking Hasbro is going to go, you know what? A lot of people wanted these Cobra Vipers, and we felt like it was unfair to them. So we're going to produce them again. You just never know when that day is coming. Kind of like the Baxter Stockman, whatever 2-pack that I found.
Yep.
All of a sudden, like they were nowhere to be found. And I found one, and you were super happy that I found it. And then all of a sudden, I'd walk into Target, and there'd be 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's insane.
And it's like, well, hold on a second. I thought these were supposed to be like hard to find, know. And but God forbid it was the Vern and whatever 2-pack, the Rat King, right?
Yeah. Vern and Rat King.
That one I never saw.
Yeah, me neither. I never saw that, and I think NECA just posted something where like, if you missed out on that one and a couple other ones, now you can go on their website and like pre-order them. Like they're doing this pre-order stuff now.
So that's what I'm saying. So like, okay, so where's the value? So the people that had those figures, right? And they're like, oh man, you know what? This thing's shooting up in value, and they're so happy. All of a sudden now, they're re-releasing it. Now it's not worth the money anymore. So it depends on your kind of. Are you collecting because you want to collect? Or are you collecting as an investment? I think that's the main question. But I still think vintage will always trump modern in the sense of value and collectability, because obviously they're not producing any more freaking G.I. Joes from 1988. They're not producing any more Thundercats, other than the Super 7 ones or the, you know, the modern ones. They're not producing the big freaking 8-inch Thundercats anymore, you know. So I think like stuff like that is always gonna, I guess, hold its value until, like we talked about. You said I can't remember. I think it was you said it. You're like, who the hell plays Atari anymore? You know, like when we were at the flea market,
right? Yep.
Atari games, and I was like, people older than us. But like, because that's what they grew up on. But like at the same time, like, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, is how is it, you know, are the toys going to go up in 20 years, or is it going to be like the Atari that's going to be like, oh well, you know, yeah, I wasn't into Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, whatever. People are going to be collecting like Ben 10, you know, and you know,
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, Dora the Explorer. Oh man, Dora the Explorer. Oh man, like is that the stuff that's going to be popular? You know, I don't know. So.
Yeah, it's so true, man. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Aaron. I believe that vintage is always going to be more expensive. And again, it's like, you know, like I said, that comment, like, who's playing Atari? And you're like, the people that grew up with Atari before us, you know. And as long as those people are still around, and it's like, I think we talked about this in a previous episode where you were like, you know, as long as the people that grew up in the 80s and the 90s were all still around, we're the ones that are still going to be collecting this vintage modern stuff. But I did notice something that really touched my heart at the flea market. And I think you were there when this happened, where it was like this customer that Dave knows, he's always picking up like G.I. Joes and like Masters of the Universe. And he's there with his wife and his son. And his son had to be no younger than 8 or 9 years old. And he's coming up to Dave like, hey, do you have Ninja? Hey, do you have so-and-so? And he's mentioning all these toys from the 80s. Like, literally, he's mentioning their names and these Joe characters. And me and Dave just had our mouths open. And the mother was like, yeah, you know, like he's been around his dad, around all this stuff. He knows all the characters. He just wants vintage. Yeah. Even with Turtles, like the mom said that she bought him a modern turtle. He's like, no, I want the vintage. And I'm like, wow, this kid knows his stuff already at a young age.
And I think I said it in the previous podcast too, is like you have to pass it on to the next generation, because otherwise the stuff's going to be worth squat. You know, I don't think it's going to be completely worth squat, because even the kids, let's say, you know, I say kids, but like the kids that are 20, you know, right now, let's say maybe getting into toys, getting into, you know, or just maybe trying to figure out market value of things, right? Yeah. When they go to a yard sale and see a box of G.I. Joes, they're going to be like, "Oh shit, these are old G.I. Joes. These are worth money." You know. So I feel like even the kids and younger people getting into it nowadays, if as long as they see the market value, they're going to be like, "Okay, this is collectible stuff." It's as soon as people go, "Oh man, like the Atari, like, oh man, like who wants to play with that?" Like the playability factor isn't there anymore, then you're going to see the stuff go down. But like my son, he loves going down into the basement and like looking at all the stuff and playing with all the stuff. I think I said, you know, he's playing with all the Foot Soldiers and Ninja Turtles and, you know, all that stuff. And he really enjoys that. So, you know, like he always asks, can we go downstairs? Can we go downstairs? You know, so I think it's like passing that, you know, knowledge and that passion off to the next generation. That's what's going to keep this hobby around.
Yeah, definitely, man. And that was awesome, man. That really touched my heart. I had a little tear coming down my eye when I saw that, man.
I think I'd freak the hell out if some little kid came up to me and be like, "Do you have a Lion-O?" And I would be like, "What?"
Like, what year were you born?
Yeah.
Like,
or it'd like freak me out even more if they had like asked about one of the uncommon characters. "Do you have a Bengali? I've been mowing lawns. You know, I have $150 for a Bengali." You know, I'd be like, "What the hell?" Like, all right, kid, go you.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man. I'll look at that kid like, wait a minute, did you go back in time? Are you actually 45, but as you traveled back in time, you just redid your age slower and slower? Like, wait, what's going on here, man? But yeah, man, and speaking of toys, and Aaron, you know, we usually talk about our pickups, but obviously we went to the flea market, and we've been picking up a few things, but is there anything that you picked up lately that, you know, is like awesome?
Oh, I guess, like I said, it was Mighty Max. Mighty Max has been the thing lately. I really haven't had like that kind of like holy crap pickup. I did make my first custom. I did make my first custom figure.
Nice.
So that was cool. I've got a Globulus from GI Joe. He's like the big snake. He was the only one with like a snake tail.
Oh yeah, the snake tail. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
he was from the movie. Well, he in the movie he had like this pod that he kind of floated around on.
Yep.
And so it wasn't my idea, but I kind of saw a picture of it and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." So people would buy these it was a toy figure line which most people probably never even heard of. I don't remember seeing them in stores, but then again, I was probably more interested in girls than toys at that age. In like 96, 97, they started making War Planets. I don't know if you ever heard of those.
War Planets. No, I never heard of that line.
Yeah,
no.
it was a line. I think it was by Trendmasters. It was kind of like Micro Machines / Mighty Max, but they were like these round actual planets. And they would open up into certain, battle stations or whatever, and they would kind of fight each other. Well, one of them is like bright green and it's got tentacles, and the name of the planet is called Bone. And all I did was I took a Dremel and I cut the top out, and it closes up and kind of opens on the side, and that's how like Globulus came out of his little pod in the movie. Oh, and nice. So I cut the hole in the top and then just stuck the Globulus figure in and closed it, and it came out fantastic.
Yeah, like, I saw the post when you sent it to us in our toy group on Facebook Messenger. That was awesome. I was like, man, that came out really good. Yeah, I'm looking at the War Planets right now. I just Googled it, and it's like, yeah, War Planets, Shadow Riders, 1997. Yeah, wow, I've never heard of this line. Never heard. Like, it reminds me kind of like Exo Squad.
Yeah,
but it's just like planets. Like, it has that Exo Squad colorful looking like look. So yeah, that's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, so I ended up picking up a lot of those because I just needed the one. That's always the case. The one is never on eBay, or if the one is on eBay, you're gonna pay stupid money for it, because I think a lot of people have caught on to that this can be made into a custom figure. So that one planet is like really hard to find, but yeah, that was probably like my coolest pickup, I would say, in the past couple of weeks. But I had I told you, man, I was bummed. I had a tragedy the other day, and I think a lot of toy guys go through this, guys and girls, collectors. I broke one of my toys that I was like freaking in love with, and granted, it wasn't in the best shape anyways, but like, it was just something that I just didn't. It's hard to replace, and it was that Brave Star 3030. And I was moving something in the basement, and I was trying to get ready, for some visitors, and I was like, okay, let's do this, and I was being really careful, and just something, I don't know if I pissed somebody off, if it was karma in a past life, I don't know. But I freaking dropped something and it cracked its freaking head right off. And I laugh about it now, but man, I texted my wife. I was so bummed. she was sad for me. It was because she knew how like hard I was working to complete that line and complete that figure. And I think we've all kind of had those moments where it's like you go to move something and it just falls, and it's like in slow motion. It's like, no, like those what is it, those Bounty commercials?
Yeah,
like when the kid like spills the drink or whatever.
No.
Yeah, I was like, no. But so I'm gonna look out for another one of those.
It's funny, I've had one of those moments too, especially with these toys that are like 30-something years old, because what happens is the plastic, we're finding these toys at the flea market where we're finding them, and like, we're talking about toys that are like 32, 33, 35 years old. And last year, I had a, vintage rock Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I had, two of them. One of them was on my shelf, and I'm rearranging my toy room, and I just give it a slight little bump on the shelf, and I saw that Bebop fall. And when he hit that floor, he broke into multiple pieces. It looked like Terminator 2 when Arnold shot the T-1000. He broke into multiple pieces. I was like, oh my God. Like, I literally grabbed him. I was holding his foot, and I was like, "Wow! You should have taken me instead."
I'm not meaning to laugh, but God, that's how I felt, man. I literally like picked up his pieces in my hand and like kneeled down on the floor, and I was just like, no, no.
Aaron, I couldn't stare looking at his dead body that I had to put a blanket over his body.
Did you get some chalk and outline him?
Just outline the figure on the floor.
Yeah,
Oh
like
man.
your brother comes into your room and he's like, "What the hell happened here?" You know, and they're like, "We had a tragedy. He didn't make it."
Oh my god. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I think that was cool, man. That was a good way that you took the toy and you added the war plan and stuff, and it looked awesome, man. As far as for me, I'm gonna give a plug to this because I watched the show and I just got my Big Bad Toy Store order of it. I got the Action Figure Adventure DVD Blu-ray from Big Bad Toy Store. Now, I'm gonna recommend everybody get this. I'm gonna start watching it. So, for those of you who don't know who Rob McCollum or Jay Bartlett is, Rob McCollum is a filmmaker based out of Canada. He did the documentary Nintendo Quest. Really awesome documentary. And that documentary, his best friend Jay Bartlett has to collect all 700 and something video games without using the internet or eBay. And then he did another documentary called Video Game Box Art, and he has a new one coming out called Faking Filmation. Now, this one's interesting because Faking Filmation, a fan that loves He-Man, ended up doing a brand new episode, and he did it like on a computer. It looks amazing, man. And the thing is that he can't release it because he was hit with a what is it? I forgot what the law
NDA.
Yeah, he was hit with an NDA from Mattel saying that he can't show this, whatever. So now,
no, probably not an NDA. It's probably a cease and desist.
Yeah, we go, a cease and desist that he can't show it. So now they're making a documentary, Rob McCollum, about like him trying to show this and what the process was. But yeah, Action Figure Adventure. What I love about this, and I'm gonna start watching it. It's 2 Blu-rays, 10 episodes, 5 episodes on each Blu-ray, and Jay, his best friend, they're collecting all these vintage toys, and as they're collecting them, they're raising money for a children's hospital.
Nice.
Which is awesome, so they're going around and collecting these toys, going to these toy stores, and all the money and the proceeds are going to go to the children's hospital, which is cool, man. And I really recommend everybody check out the trailer on YouTube for Action Figure Adventure. They also have a YouTube channel. Rob McCollum has the Jay and Rob Toy Show on YouTube, which I watch all the time. Very awesome show. Check it out, man. Again, I'm not getting paid to plug this, by the way. I'm just saying, check this out. Action Figure Adventure. So this is a pickup that I got from Big Bad Toy Store. So
nice.
But yeah, man. But speaking of toys, let's get into the toy news because NECA, I had to pop 4 Tylenols this week. I was just getting a brain overload with NECA.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the Turtles in Disguise are hitting targets right now, and everybody is going crazy. Aaron, this is the 4-pack of the Turtles with the mask, and the mask, they look like babies, which is a kind of weird looking mask.
Well, I think that's what they look like in the cartoon series.
Yeah, so they're starting to hit targets, and everybody's scrambling. Obviously, people started posting them on eBay. You're about to spend $350 or more, because the pack is for like $100, $115. It's all 4 turtles. They got the mask. They got the trench coats. What's cool about it is that if you missed out on the previous cartoon turtle line from NECA, if you buy this 4-pack, you get all 4 turtles. They're all there with their weapons. You can display them with the trench coat, without the pants. I like my turtles without pants. Drop those pants, Donatello.
No comment.
So yeah, man, I'm hoping that I can find these at Target. And Aaron, I'm glad I have you, because if you can find one for me, I'll Venmo you.
I'll pick it up.
But if not, what I'm hoping is that NECA does what they did with the Vernon Rat King pack, where like, hey, people couldn't buy it, they had them on their store. They relisted them to pre-order. So I'm crossing my fingers that I can bump into these, but I don't know, man. NECA stuff is always hard to find with these exclusives. So
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. I just don't. I understand it from a business perspective, because if you have something that everybody wants and you only release a limited amount of it, that's just going to drive the price of it up that much more. Not necessarily that you're going to see the profit margin, but people are going to be on the lookout for the next thing that you come out with, right? Like, because let's say NECA all of a sudden, came out with their first figure, limited edition, 10,000, whatever, sold out, right?
right.
Everybody's looking for that figure, and then you say, okay, NECA, I'm going to release the next figure. Well, you know that you could probably double the production run of the next figure because of the popularity of the first figure. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that what they're doing is smart, but I also think it's frustrating as a toy collector, because like, you want NECA to do what they did with like the Tokar and Razar, 2-pack. You want NECA to do what they did with the Super Shredder. You want them to be like, okay, well, I'm going to put it up. It's going to be up for a week. However many people buy it in this week, then that's how many we're going to produce. And I feel like that's the smart way to do it, because if you miss out, well, you had a week. You had a week to log in and buy it. And if you think that you're going to find these at retail, then good luck to you. But, if not, you missed out,
Yeah. So yeah, man, that's the thing, man. All these exclusives that go to Walmart and Target, because so with NECA, the movie turtle lines, they go to Walmart. So all the NECA movie turtle lines go to Walmart. All the NECA cartoon turtle lines go to Target. So they have it separated in two different stores. And then NECA just posted that Judith Hogue, who played April O'Neil in the first 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, they just revealed the sculpt for the April O'Neil figure on their NECA Instagram line. So
nice.
If you guys have not seen that, check it out, man. I think it looks incredible, the sculpting. See, that's the thing with NECA. I feel like NECA, their sculpts and the way their figures look is identical to like the movie or TV show or the licensing brand.
Right.
Like they knock it out the park with like the way these figures look. So yeah, April O'Neil, that's coming out soon. Also, again with NECA, gargoyles.
Yeah.
Oh man, did the internet go on a frenzy for this one? Aaron, did you see the Goliath NECA gargoyle figure?
Yeah, I'm on the NECA website right now, and I'm looking at it, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I just pre-ordered it on Big Bad Toy Store last week. Man, listen, for those that are listening or watching right now, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Anchor.fm, Gargoyles was man, you know what? For a Disney show in 1992 or 93 when the show came out, it felt like a Batman animated series kind of dark tone vibe to that show.
Yeah.
For a Disney show, it was kind of dark. And like Aaron, I don't know if you remember the plot of the show, but I think like the gargoyles, they were sucked into New York somehow. I mean, they woke up in New York. I can't remember the whole plot of the show, but I know that they were in New York and they had a detective. She was a female detective, Spanish female detective. She helped them out. It was Goliath, and then they were named. The other characters were named after the different cities of New York, like Bronx, Brooklyn. There was like 5 of them. Yeah, man, like it was a great show, and again, it was very dark. And NECA, I gotta say, Aaron, I was kind of surprised that it was NECA doing this for Disney, because everybody thought online that it was gonna be Super 7. Because I don't know if you remember that Super 7 got the Disney license to do all these ultimate Disney figures.
Right.
So when the internet found out that it was NECA that was doing the Goliath gargoyle figure, we were like, whoa, we thought it was going to be Super 7, but man, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm looking at it now. I think the way they took the photos are really good. I like the kind of the thinking face of Goliath, and then he's got like the angry gargoyle face, and he's got the book because he was always looking at some special book or something. I remember that much.
Right.
And maybe I missed it. I don't know why he comes with like a little chili pepper.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe jalapeno pepper. I don't know why he comes with the jalapeno. Maybe I mean I watched the show, but like it wasn't like like it was like on like Disney Afternoon, right? So like you had like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and then Gargoyles, and I think probably at that time I would watch it, but maybe that was the time I was getting picked up. I was like I never really watched like a bunch of episodes of Gargoyles in a row, but
yeah, I never.
Like I want to say something though about like the about NECA and their quality management or like quality assessment, whatever you want to call it. The quality assurance.
Right.
Like I've been seeing like some people buying some NECA figures recently. I think the most recent one that I saw was like the Ace Ventura one. Now granted it's like kind of the lower end, not lower end NECA, but like not like the Ninja Turtles. They're I don't know. But anyways, a lot of people have been saying that NECA has been like, as much as their head sculpts and their ratios and all this other stuff are so well done, that the quality, like you pop off a head to put on another head, or you pop off an arm to put on an accessory, and they're breaking left and right. And
yeah, it's funny that you're saying that, because I don't know if you ever heard of the toy channel on YouTube called Retro Blasting.
I've heard of it. I don't really follow it though.
Yeah, so Michael and Melinda have a show called Retro Blasting, and he did a video about the quality control of NECA figures. Now, Aaron, I don't know if you knew this, and I didn't know this either. So you know how like the Food and Drug Administration, obviously before you put a food item out or any type of medication, it has to go through, quality control.
Right.
You got to test it out. So I guess NECA, the way they get around their quality control, again, I love NECA. I'm not bashing NECA or anything like that.
No.
I've had good NECA figures. None of my figures have broken. So like, I love NECA. This is just stuff that's been going on in the toy news right now, is that NECA, their quality control, they can get away with it, because if you look at their figures, when you get the package at the back, there's a certain wording that they use. I'm trying to look it up online right now, where it's like, oh, this is not a food item / whatever item, blah, 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 blah. So because of that legal wording, they can get away more with their quality control. So it's funny, man. Like Mattel, Kenner, like a lot of these other lines, even Super 7, like their quality control is really good. But with NECA, it seems because of that wording, and I'm trying to look it up right now, like they can get away with some of that stuff.
And that's, I mean, I don't know. Like if you were a toy company, and again, I'm not bashing NECA, I'm just, saying that I've been kind of seeing some disappointed fans online. I've been seeing, people disappointed. I popped off the head once, and, now I have to go buy another figure because NECA obviously isn't going to replace something that you broke, right? Because you opened it, you decided to mess with it, you broke it. But it's like, if I had a figure, it's kind of like getting those figures on Christmas Day that we used to get, and it's like they maybe lasted till, New Year's.
Right.
It's like, oh man, this is the best toy, and then all of a sudden the arm pops off or something like that. But why wouldn't you as a toy company want to have a really strong quality control? I mean, to me,
Right.
that it's almost the two go hand in hand, because again, if you get the figure and, oh my god, this is really well made, my son freaking put a parachute on it and threw it off the 5th floor and it survived, whatever. I mean, like, think about G.I. Joe, right? You could take a G.I. Joe, freaking, strap it to the rocket, bury it in sand, do whatever. 9 times out of 10, the thing's maybe lost a finger or something, but it's still
right.
It lost its thumb, but it's still all there. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing that, like, obviously people aren't playing with like NECA's, as GI Joes, and it's more displayability and creating kind of custom environments and stuff. But I don't know, why wouldn't you want your quality? Like, why put that on the back of your packaging so you'd be like, ha 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 ha, if you fuck up your figure, guess what? It's your fault, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know, again, like me and Aaron are saying, we're not bashing NECA. You know, we like NECA. It's just that, you know, the way they do the quality control. And I know a couple people, they get like the turtle figures and they try to move like a hand and it'll break, or like a leg. And you know, people say that when you buy new figures and let's say like your shoulder is like really tight, they say to take a air blower, you know, and blow hot air into it. I mean, that's what people are doing. You know, if your figures are really tight with their shoulders, either that or you need a massage therapist.
Next is going to be like, okay, spray some WD-40 and give your action figure a nice little massage. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Aaron. I mean, we're getting to the point right now where it was like, remember Nintendo when everybody had a way to blow into the cartridge? It was like, oh, you got to get Q-tips. No, wait, you got to put alcohol. Well, if you put it in the freezer and leave it in the freezer for a little bit and take out the cartridge, we get into the point right now with figures that it's like, well, you got to use a hot air blower.
I just can't. I can't. I like that. That to me is like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, like I'm gonna get my wife's hair dryer and I'm gonna freaking spray it on this figure so that I could, you know, so that I could loosen up its arm so that I could display it for this photo. Like, come on. I mean, like, see, to me that is nuts. Like, to me that's crazy. But I'm also the guy that buys these figures that are dirty as hell at the flea market, and I'm cleaning them with the toothbrush at like midnight. You know, so,
No,
like,
right.
So, like, I don't know, to each their own, I guess. But like, I just can't see myself buying a brand new figure for $51.99 plus shipping. And okay, I'm gonna open it so I could display it, and I'm gonna sit there in my room with a hair dryer going, okay, that's one arm. Okay, there's the other arm. Okay, I can move its head.
Oh my God, man! I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just getting. Again, man, we love NECA, you know, but this is just stuff that people are having problems, man. And again, you know, they're having the Goliath figure come out. That's looking awesome. I mean, it's just looking good. Again, NECA makes good figures. Obviously, we're in this modern age of figure collecting where you're spending between $30 to $50 on just one figure. But hey, man, it is what it is, man. But also,
before we move on, did you end up getting the Danny? Did you end up doing the loot crate for that?
Okay, wow, that was a great way to segue into what I was just gonna say right now. So, also, thank you, Aaron, for that great segue to my awesome co-host. Yeah, so I did pre-order the Danny figure, and I also got the Donatello Batman figure.
Okay.
So I got that, but also, did you see that NECA? They were doing a Mutagen Man that was gonna come out or something like that. No, it was not the Mutagen Man. I'm sorry, it was the Pizza Monster from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game. So they're doing the Pizza Monster.
Shit.
Yeah. So that they just dropped that bombshell on us, man, and we all went crazy. Now, I'm not really collecting a lot of the NECA TMNT video game line. I got one of the foot soldiers from the video game, but this Pizza Monster looks amazing, man.
Yeah, that is, you know, I don't know how but see, and this is the other thing. How did they get away with that, you know, with Alien? You know what I mean? Like, because you look at it and you're like, yeah, that looks like the freaking Xenomorph from Alien, you know, and it is the same sculpt, the same. He's got the tail, he's got the head, and like, I'm sure it was inspired by that. But yeah, the Pizza Monster. Wow, that's cool. Like, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that Pizza Monster is definitely awesome. I'm still debating whether I'm gonna pre-order it or not, but it looks awesome, man. Also, let's talk about two toy lines that I was really blown by this. Let's talk about the Hasbro is going to release, and I just pre-ordered him. Now, I don't collect a lot of Star Wars Black Series, but I did pre-order the Jackson. Now, for those of you that know Star Wars. Now, I don't know too much. I'm not a Star Wars big, historian. I don't have my PhD degree in Star Wars lore, but I guess Jackson was this old character that was introduced in the 70s, I think in the comic book line, and he looks exactly like Bucky O'Hare. Have you seen this, Aaron? It's Jackson, Jaxxson. He looks exactly like Bucky O'Hare, and like I pre-ordered him just because, man, I'm gonna put him next to my Bucky O'Hare figure.
Yeah.
Like he's like the big brother of Bucky O'Hare. Like that's his brother right there. They look exactly alike.
Yeah, I think it was like Star Wars Adventures or Star Wars Extended Universe or something like that. Yeah, it definitely has a very much Bucky O'Hare vibe to it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely an awesome looking figure, man. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? They're doing him. They're doing like this other Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That like he looks pretty jacked up. It looks like he's been pumping weights for the last 2 years or so.
Well, I think that one was based off of the Clone Wars.
Okay.
Darth Maul, because I mean, and he was badass in that. Yeah, there's a bunch like the Bo-Katan.
Right.
I don't know. I'm guessing this is from Crimson Empire. Okay, yeah, that's cool. The Carnage Jax.
Aaron, do you collect Black Series, by the way? Like any Star Wars?
I not as much as I would like to, I guess I should say. I didn't start. It's here we go. Here goes the rabbit hole. My
here
brain,
we go.
Yeah, my brain's going right. So, long story short, I actually have the first Black Series figure that they released at Comic-Con. Because it was Boba Fett, and it was Boba Fett with a Han Solo and Carbonite. Because kind of the first thing that I started collecting when I was in my 20s was anything Boba Fett. Like that was my guy, that was my dude. I have freaking more Boba Fett stuff than you can imagine. And so my wife, for birthday, Christmas, anniversary, something like that, she ended up going on eBay and getting the 2-pack, which was a Boba Fett and the Han Solo and Carbonite, and it was to introduce the Black Series line. So I loved it. I loved the figures. I think that they were cool, and then I think it was just kind of like, all right, well, this is the Boba Fett. Yeah, I don't need to get any of the other ones because I have the one that I wanted, Right. And then so I think the line came out. It did really well. There's certain ones that are still like it's just, it blows my mind on the value. Some of the original ones go for hundreds of dollars, but obviously that was, I guess at this point, probably 10 years ago that the Black Series line first kind of made its appearance. So I dabbled in it. I have a couple of them. I really enjoyed the 40th anniversary line of the Star Wars figures because they were like, I think they were a little bit bigger than the Black Series, but they were on like the vintage card backs, and that's kind of what but they were they were like the Black Series size. So I got into those, but yeah, I dabbled in the Black Series. Like I'll buy the ones that I think are cool, or if I like go to the store. Like I found the Mandalorian and the Child 2-pack. Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Obviously, I picked that up. But yeah, I really don't have. I maybe have 10 or 12 Black Series figures, but nothing like. Yeah, I think they're in like the 150 plus at this point.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, man. Like. I picked up the Mandalorian figure also just because that show was amazing. You know, and I had to get a Mandalorian. I don't have too many Star Wars figures. I picked up at the flea market an X-Wing with X-Wing suit Luke. So that was cool. I'm trying not to dabble in too many rabbit holes because then like I'm not gonna be able to breathe in my room with all the toys that are gonna be on top of me. So I'm just trying to collect certain things that I like, man. But yeah, that's awesome, man. And then also speaking of more toy news, did you check out Ramen Toys? Ramen Toys is a private like a
noodle company.
Yeah. Hey, check out their hot spicy chicken with ramen noodles.
You get a free Boba Fett action figure in your ramen noodles.
I know, right? Seriously. But yeah, Ramen Toys is this toy company that's doing Commanders. Now, if you guys look at Ramen Toys and look at the Commanders, they are literally identical Centurion toys. And then Aaron, me and you were talking about this previously before the show started, and you asked me a question when you were like, "How are they getting away with this?"
Yeah.
And, like Kenner owns a line to Centurions. Now, here's my thing. All right, let's say that I make a Donatello, looks exactly like a Donatello.
Right.
I don't call it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I call it, I don't know, Ninja Commando.
Right.
Now, am I gonna get, a cease and assist letter from Playmates or Nickelodeon?
You might.
I don't know what the legal ramifications are, or the guides, but like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, that's a Centurion.
Yeah.
It's exactly a Centurion, but they're calling it Commanders, and they're about to place a pre-order soon on their site. They're saying, and I'm gonna get one because I think they look freaking amazing, but I don't know, like how are they gonna get away with this? Like,
yeah, I think it's something like, okay, like if you took a Playmates Donatello, 1988, whatever, and took the sculpt and made a sculpt exactly from that sculpt, right? I think that's where you're going to get in trouble. But like if you decided to make your own version of it and called it, I remember you posted on the forums, or you posted in the toy group, you were like, look at all these different variations of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was like super infused sea slugs, and all these other ones. So like you
Teenage Mutant Gerbil Turtles, or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant, whatever, Gerbil Turtles. Yeah, and it's like okay, if you sat there and just named it Steve's Four Green Guys, like, okay, and but one's red, one's blue, one's orange, and one's purple, and then you go, okay, well, instead of the red one having the size, I'm gonna give him a chainsaw, but it's obviously a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, like, I think that you could get away with it because it's not a direct copyright of the sculpt, but I think I still mean it's a Centurion. They're saying that it's like the same type of figure. I think we were talking before the show, kind of like the Lego Mega Bloks, right?
Right.
You have Lego. Lego owns the rights to that specific copyright, trademark, whatever you want to call it. You cannot produce a Lego with. Yeah, I think there's two lines on the nubs that make the Lego just a Lego. Right. But Mega Bloks are the same thing essentially, but they just it's a minute difference. Kind of like, what is it? I'm laughing because it's like my brain is just like connecting the dots. It's like
it's
Vanilla Ice and David Bowie controversy.
Right.
Okay. David Bowie's goes dun 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 dun, but mine goes dun 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 dun. So it's like, okay, and he never, Vanilla Ice never lost that, but it's just like, okay, but it was so close, it's that close, but it's different.
Yeah, it's like Coming to America when the dude, what was it? Somebody was like, "Hey, wait a minute, isn't this McDonald's?" And he was like, no, it's Mac Arnold's. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, hey, it's the same thing, just a different name.
Right.
They got the golden arches, we have the yellow arches. It's like, all right. It's like, but yeah, man, I think the toys look pretty good, man.
I think they look great. I think they're cool. I like that playability of like attaching different things, and I've always liked that. Okay, you could take this accessory and put it with this person, or like the interchangeable pieces. I mean, I thought Centurions were always cool. I just never see them in the wild. Maybe it's just kind of harder to find toy line. But I think that they're definitely a cool toy line because it's like you have these little Lego pieces that you're attaching to them.
No, definitely, man. I think they're awesome. I mean, hopefully they can get away with it, and we get these toy lines, and that would be really cool. So, I'm crossing my fingers, Ramen Toys. Hopefully everything works out for you guys. We're rooting for you. Okay, so two more bit of toy news before we get to the ultimate toy news that we're gonna talk about. And I think the whole internet was going crazy over this. This was like the major toy news going on right now. But I just want to give a shout out to Premium DNA Toys with their Battletoad figures that are coming out.
Yeah.
Aaron, you took a look at those, right?
Yeah. I think we talked about them because they were like, I don't know if they showed the shadows of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like last month, no, they look really cool. I mean, they're an up and coming toy line to keep an eye out for because they're getting the rights obviously to produce them, and
right.
They did the what was it, the Barnyard Commandos, right?
The Barnyard Commandos. They did the Mad Balls.
Right.
Barnyard Commandos, Mad Balls. Now they got the Battletoads are coming out. They look freaking amazing. Then they're doing Earthworm Jim, and they're doing Clay Fighters.
Nice.
So,
Clay Fighters, I'd be definitely interested in.
Yeah, they're gonna do Clay Fighters and Earthworm Jim. But man, these Battletoads, like we never really got as kids a real Battletoads toy line. I mean, we had the TV show, we had the video games. Battletoads and Double Dragon, which was an awesome game. But to get these Battletoads and the way they look, like you can actually display these with your turtle figures.
Yeah.
You can have like Leonardo shaking hands with like Zitz from Battletoads. It's just awesome that these up and coming toy lines are getting the rights to some of these toys that we never got, man.
Yeah, I think I just kind of, because I remember they came out with a toy for Battletoads in the early 90s. It wasn't a toy though; they were Bendums.
Yes, Bendums. Okay.
And I told when you said Zitz, I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot the names of them: Rash, Zitz, and Pimple. Like, I mean. Like, come on. Like, okay, you're sitting in it. Like, let's just go through this. Now, granted, Battletoads is an amazing franchise. It was amazing games. We were just talking about it at the flea market that like Battletoads Double Dragon was like one of the better games on the Super Nintendo.
Right.
It's a great game franchise. But all right, let's put our corporate hats on for a second. And all right, we're sitting in a Nintendo boardroom, and we're like, hey, all right, we're gonna make these like, all right, they're kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're toads, and they're gonna have like battle axes and all this other stuff. But what do we call it? Like, how do we make this different? And some guys like, oh, what about Zitz? And it's like, that's great. Oh, Pimples. Oh, yeah. And then, oh, what do you get? Like if you touch a toad, a rash. And it's like, oh, come on, man. Like Zitz, Pimples, and rash. Like that was the best you could come up with. Like
it's like, hey, what are they into? Well, zits and they get rashes. So like, oh, that's awesome. It's funny because like the names, like when you buy these figures, like it's like you gotta go to Walgreens and get some topical ointment like after you buy these figures. Like it's hilarious, man. Oh my god!
Like you go to like the teenager that's working the toy aisle, when these come out, obviously they're not coming out in stores, but let's just say they did. Hey man, do you got that Pimples figure? And the kid just looks at you like, what? Like, am I being punked right now? Like, oh no. Oh, okay. I saw you were sold out of Pimples, but do you have rash?
You know who I'm thinking about in my head as you're saying that? The teenager, that pimply teenager from The Simpsons all the time, where he's like, "Oh, Mr. Johnson, he's looking for the rash figure." Oh my god, that's awesome, man. But yeah, man. So Premium DNA Toys. If you guys haven't checked them out, check them out. They got the Battletoads coming out, and they look freaking amazing. So yeah, really looking forward to that toy line. Okay, now for the ultimate toy news. Drum roll, please, from Aaron. Thank you. Aaron, you know what, Aaron? I'm going to have you take this one because you know what we're going to talk about right now. Why don't you introduce what Hasbro has in line for us with this new Transformer
Oh,
that's making the waves right now.
You had to pitch it to me because I was like, Steve, what the hell are you talking about?
The
I
funny
was like,
thing,
we thought we discussed it. Like, it is badass, but like, I was like, I don't know where you're going with this.
oh man,
Oh,
yeah.
you're like, oh, Aaron, here, take it. I'm looking at you like, I don't know, but yeah, no, I do know. It just like I said, I need to wake up like 2 hours earlier just so I could.
No. For a moment there, I was like, wait a minute, Aaron doesn't know about what's going on right now. I'm like, I thought we talked about this previously before the show started.
But like, I didn't know that it was like that. Yeah, but okay, I'm back. Let me recenter. Let me refocus.
There you go.
Yeah, so the news is
Yes.
the Optimus Prime remote control, voice activated. He can chop. He can what is it? He can slice.
Man.
He can dice. He can chop. He can walk. He can transform. He can do anything you want him to do. That freaking Transformer Optimus Prime, like that's $700 or whatever it is. That's voice activated, that moves, that has accessories, that is remote controlled via your phone or Bluetooth controller, whatever it is. Phenomenal. Everything we wanted in an Optimus Prime toy back in 1985, you know?
Yeah. It is. I'm gonna say this. I have never, and we've had robotic toys and things that you put batteries in, but let me tell you guys this. I have never seen a toy, and you sent me that clip with Kevin Smith and his buddy from Jay and Son. Yeah, with Jason Mewes. And if you guys have not seen this clip, go on YouTube right now. Stop watching this and go on YouTube and watch that right now. Then come back and watch us talking about it. But yeah, you see Kevin Smith, he's like, Optimus, convert. You can say convert or transform. He transforms into the truck. Then Kevin Smith is like, Optimus, am I your friend? You are my human friend forever. And it's what's his name that does the voice for Optimus Prime? Frank Walker. I think it's Frank Walker, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does the voice. And listen, he's walking. He's doing bodybuilding poses. And then Jason Mewes, he told him an action to do, and you see Optimus just do this punch right to the floor, and he starts walking. The robot is actually walking, and when he's standing still, he's breathing. You see his chest just go in and out, just standing there, and I have never ever seen something like that. He has over 4,000 components or something like that inside of him, over a couple thousand motors. Now, the name of the company that did it is called Robosen. Now, I did some research on the company. Aaron, I don't know if you knew this, but this is not the first time that they make this type of robot. So apparently, they've done other robots and other things that transform. And Hasbro was like, hey, you know what? They're already doing this. Let's team up with them. Let's get a Transformer license that we have. Let's get this company to do this amazing toy. And I am not going to lie, for $700, that's an amazing price. It's up there, but I thought this is like a $1,400 toy. Yeah. But it's only $700. I mean, it is amazing. I went crazy and the whole internet's talking about it. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about this, Aaron?
Well, let me make a correction. Frank Welker voiced, I just Googled it because I couldn't remember his name. Frank Welker voiced Megatron.
Oh, there we go.
Peter Cullen voiced Optimus. So just so we're clear, so we don't get bashed in the comment section.
Yeah. So for all the pop culture nerds like us, so we don't get bashed. Like, I thought this was Zero Boss Price podcast, the podcast that serves you not 3 scoops of pop culture, but wrong culture.
Cancel culture. Cancel.
Comic book guys, like, worst episode ever.
I'm not listening to these guys anymore.
Yeah.
I think that it's definitely. I said it. I can't spend that much money on a toy. As much as it is amazing and fascinating and whatever. all of a sudden, I want to see how good those toys stand up a year from now. You know,
Right.
like, all right, let's say somebody's got it on their shelf and they're or they're playing with it, and how are those servos? How are those motors? How are those? All of a sudden, are you going to have to take your little hair dryer and hair dry it to make sure that it moves in the future? I mean, that's I would like to see the longevity of this toy before I drop $700 on it. Because like you said, with 1,400 moving parts or whatever in the middle of it, or however many parts there are in there, I'm sure there's a ton. Because you look at this thing, I mean, it is articulated. When he took his fist and slammed down on the floor.
Yeah.
When you can control him. He's got the laser blaster, and he shoots, and he's got the axe, and the axe kind of swings all different ways. And now, are they going to produce a Megatron? Is what I want to know. And is it going to convert into the tank, or is it going to convert into like the pistol? Because if it converts into the pistol, I want it.
That would be crazy to see Megatron transform into a pistol. If they listen, I'm with you on that one. If they do that, I'm getting one. Like, that is insane, man. And you know what? With this technology, I can probably see that happening, man. I can see that. Like, if they can place the pistol like on a stand, like hang it from a stand or something, and then it converts right there, and then it goes back to the conversion, like, that will be freaking amazing. And Aaron, I think you and me talked about this before. We're getting to that point right now where, after seeing this, where that Chucky kind of like moment in toy collecting, where, like, can you imagine if they put this chip on, like, I don't know, like, let's say a doll. Like we're getting to the point where, like, hey man, these toys are coming alive, like, literally. Like,
small soldiers, Chucky, like, all of a sudden, freaking these guys are gonna come to life, be like, come play with me. No,
God. No. Small soldiers, Chucky, Skynet. We're getting to Skynet right now. Some Terminator feels like, I don't know, man, but, like, again, like, it's amazing. I already know people started pre-ordering this right now, and listen, I hope that somebody that I know gets this so I can see this in person.
That I'll live vicariously through somebody else with this one. So if somebody, like, if you get it, or if somebody else gets it, I'll be like, oh, like, you remember like, if, like, when you were probably like a teenager, or maybe a young teenager, 11, 12 years old, and your buddy got a Sega Genesis, or your buddy got a Super Nintendo, and you had a Game Boy or something. It's like, oh man, did you get? And you're in the neighborhood. Did you just hear? Johnny got a Super Nintendo, and he got Mario World, and everybody went over to Johnny's house. And I feel like that's gonna, like, rekindle that, like,
Yep.
Oh, did you hear? Dave bought the $700 Optimus Prime, and you and I are running to his store, and it's like, okay, all right, let's see it, man. Like, I feel like that's gonna be this thing. I feel like one person in your circle is gonna get it, and everybody's gonna be, like, running over to their house.
Oh man, yeah, man. Like, I have a friend named Dwayne. He lives in Boston. He's a big Transformer collector. His whole basement's filled with Transformers, and he's one of those high-end collectors. He'll spend the money like this. Yeah. So I'm hoping that he gets it, so I can grab a video and just see it live in person, man. Because, listen, this is like the Thunder Tank. The Thunder Tank from Super 7 was $500. Yeah. And I mean, I didn't order it. And now we got this at $700. So, I mean, listen, man. Toy collecting, things are getting good and good and good, and this is like one of the best things. This might just win Toy of the Year for next. This might just win Toy of the Year, man.
I can see that. I mean, but the toy companies are also like, these Americans just got their stimulus check. How much is this toy? Half of your stimulus check.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure if Takara and Hasbro, like, they're still together. Like, Takara's still making money because they sold, some of the rights to America. But I know Takara must be in Japan just looking at us, like you said, like, those Americans.
Like, we're gonna take all your money with a toy. Like,
oh man, oh my God, man. But yeah, man, but definitely awesome. Check it out, guys. For those that pre-ordered it, hey man, like, put it up on your Instagram, put it up on your feeds. Everybody share it if you get it. All right, movie news. We're getting into an hour of the show right now, so we're gonna finish up with this. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Another internet thing. It happened this past week. Aaron, did you see the Paul Rudd mini Stay Puff
I
60
did.
second?
I did, and I loved every second of it.
Oh my! Now, all right, we have Baby Grodu or Baby Yoda, and now we have these baby-looking mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Mans.
Yeah.
Are we getting to the point where everything's baby now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, but that's what's gonna sell, right? Like, because you can't walk into any store now without something Baby Yoda somewhere. We went into Five Below the other day, and it's like, I thought of like Spaceballs, Baby Yoda the underwear, Baby Yoda the flamethrower, Baby Yoda the lunchbox, Baby Yoda. I mean,
Yeah.
it's freaking Grogu everywhere, and the couple months ago, and I collected them for my wife because she enjoyed The Mandalorian. There was these little tiny Baby Yoda. I don't know what the hell you call them. They were like these little PVC figures. They were maybe like 2 inches tall, but there was like Baby Yoda holding a cup, or Baby Yoda,
right.
using the Force, or Baby Yoda in his little pod, and there was I think they came out with like 12 of them, 6 in series 1 and 6 in series 2, and they were fun to collect. They were pretty plentiful. Trying to find maybe that last one was a little bit of a pain, but I ended up finding them all at retail, which was cool. But yeah, so I think I sent you the link that now they're going to be releasing, which is kind of cool because it looked like they were in like the old Ecto.
Yeah, like the old slime. Yeah,
containers.
Containers. Yeah.
And it's kind of like a blind box. You don't know which one you're going to get, and they were like these little marshmallow toys, which I thought, you know what, I'll bite on those.
Right. No, it looks awesome, man. And like this clip. So I'm on YouTube right now. So Paul Rudd, he's in the new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. Paul Rudd plays a seismologist or something like it's a scientist that studies like earthquakes and things that happen. So he's at a Walmart and he's looking for some ice cream. He's probably gonna have a nice Friday night. Watch a little Netflix, just picking some Baskin Robbins. And then he hears a lady screaming. And as we all do when we hear people screaming, we just avoid it and just keep doing whatever we're doing. And then, like, he stumbles across, like, this little part of the store where he's looking at, like, he picks up, like, something to go his ice cream. And a marshmallow bag is, like, shaking. And, hey, can we just say this right now? What company still leaves its old original brand logo on it? Like after 30 years, it still has the original, like when Dana in the first Ghostbusters movie, when she was in her apartment and the eggs were shaking and she had the Stay Puft marshmallows on her table. It's the same logo, the same bag, which is kind of cool that they kept that. But yeah, so Paul Rudd's like, what the hell's happening with this marshmallow? And a little baby cute looking Stay Puft comes out. And Aaron, what was your first reaction when you saw that cute little bugger come out?
I thought it was cool that they put it in there. I thought it was cool that they're bringing back kind of that Stay Puft marshmallow. And then I probably would have done the same thing. It kind of looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy. He reaches out and he's like, "Oh, hey, little guy," and then it's like,
Yeah. So he bites Paul Rudd's finger, and after he bites him, the next scene is like you get like a bunch of little Stay Puffs like joyriding on a Roomba. Like they just stole it and they're just going on a little joyride around the store, and they bump into him. And then, oh my God, Aaron, tell me your reaction when you saw the greatest barbecue scene in cinema history.
I loved it, man. I loved every second of that. That the freaking guy's getting turned into a s'more.
like okay. So I'm watching this right now, and you see one of the Stay Puffs. He just skewered like two of his friends. They're just like it's like cannibalistic. The marshmallows are eating each other.
Yeah,
like, they're just turning each other into treats. Like I'm just like, what is going on? I don't know if you noticed this, but like right before that scene happens, Like right as it gets to that scene, there's two marshmallows, and they're right on the left hand side, and I don't know what they're doing with each other. I don't know if they're procreating. Then you have that one Stay Puft Marshmallow guy on top of the grill. He's just doing the Jurassic Park pose, like on the rug. He's just like that sexy rug pose, like at the top. Like I'm like, what is going on over here, man? But I think this was amazing, and it was only a 60-second clip of this.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And like Jason Reitman, who's the son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the first two Ghostbuster movies. Listen, man, I am pumped. I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. I mean, I own a proton pack that turns on, for God's sake. You know, I have a life-size proton pack prop. So it's like you can't get any more Ghostbuster than that when you have a proton pack life-size.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to see this movie. I think the 60-second clip that Sony introduced us to was amazing. I mean, like, Aaron, are you going to be watching this when it comes out in November?
Yeah, without a doubt. So, yeah, I thought that clip was phenomenal. I think that it's gonna, I mean, and granted, what do all movies want to do? They want to sell merchandise, they want to sell toys, they want to sell all this other stuff because that's how they make money, right?
Right.
I think that this is gonna be the baby Grogu of the Ghostbusters universe, which is fine. I'm cool with it. I think it's great. I think it would be fun to create a little army of these guys.
Yeah, most
you have them
definitely.
on your shelf, and all this other stuff. And I feel like, as Ghostbusters fans, I'm not like I've been wanting some newer toys and stuff like that. I was lucky enough to get the Afterlife Ecto-1, like the big one.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to find that at Target when it came out, and I didn't know this, kind of off track, but for the toy collectors out there, that there was two different versions of that, two different like paint jobs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was watching a guy on YouTube, and he was trying to figure out how to identify which one you have without opening it up, because it's the same box, it's the same everything. It was, I think, let's say, I'm just gonna name two of the countries, like Taiwan and China, okay, that produced them. I don't know if that was the case or not, but anyways, one production country painted the hood like super dark black, like it was supposed to look like charred, but like it just turned out like you had the toasted version and a non-toasted version, and I mean it was like super dark black, and then like the kind of one that was like maybe a little bit gray, kind of like it had been sitting in the barn for quite some time. So
okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like, and the people that opened them up and they got like the toasted version are pissed because it doesn't look right. It just doesn't have that Ghostbusters Ecto-1 feel to it, because like when you look at it in the movie, it's not burnt. The hood's not burnt. So like I guess there's a number stamp on and I can't remember if it was two is the toasted and 3. I think 2 is the toasted version. If you have it and it starts with a 2, that's the toasted version. If you find one that starts with a 3, that's the regular version.
Oh, that's good. It's funny that I'm glad that you're telling me this, because I haven't picked it up yet, the Ghostbusters Afterlife Ecto-1, and I'm planning on getting it. I just haven't picked it up yet. But that's good to know, because I didn't even know that. I thought they all looked with the burnt, like.
No. So like a lot of like I went on YouTube and watched this guy, and he's like, comment below if this is right. I was able to pick up 2 of them, and people were confirming that like the whatever the number starts with, and if you go on I think it's 2 is the burnt, 3 is the not burnt, off the top of my head, but yeah. So I wanted more Ghostbusters merchandise. Like, I'm cool with them bringing back the retros. I'm cool with them bringing back the Ghost Popper, the Bug Eye, I'm cool with them bringing the retro stuff back, but give us some new stuff. I think the only thing that we've had so far is that Ecto-1 and the Transformers Ecto-1, which came with the new Ghost.
Yeah. And I think this Ecto-1, because in the movie they kind of spoiled it for us, but the Ecto-1 there's a little ghost trap, a remote
Yeah.
control ghost trap that comes out, and I guess that's one of the new equipment that they show in the movie. And also the new goggles that take a Polaroid picture, the Ecto goggles now. So
Yeah.
that's something new. So yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this movie, man. I can't wait. I know that because of the pandemic, theaters have been closed down, and Sony's not like Warner Brothers where Godzilla and all these other films, Mortal Kombat and everything else was going straight to streaming like HBO Max. But Sony really wants people to go to theaters and watch this movie. And I'm not gonna lie, I want to watch Ghostbusters Afterlife in a movie theater. Like this is how I want to experience this, man.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm not ready. I mean, kind of the one thing we talked about too, and I'll just touch base on it real quick, was like WrestleMania just happened, right? And 25,000 people went to WrestleMania this year. I don't, as much as we're going to say we're ready and everything's safe and blah, 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 I don't think we're there yet. Like we've been doing this for over a year. Everybody's kind of in their comfort zone. Everybody's ready to get out everybody's getting vaccinated now. Everybody's ready to get out in the real world and do stuff. But like, what was it? The Texas Rangers just held their first game with 40,000 fans.
That's insane.
And WrestleMania just had 25,000 fans over the course of 2 nights. It'll be interesting to see what'll happen with the spikes in Florida and Texas, which have always been the problem states anyways.
Right.
Like I know as amazing as it would be to see this in a movie theater, like I feel like it's like, okay, here's your ticket, where's your vaccine card? Like if you do it that way, I think that it would work, but we talked about this briefly at the flea market too when we were walking around. Like that's going to be like your golden ticket,
right,
to get into things. And I feel like if you did that, if you knew that everybody in that movie theater was vaccinated, I would go. But you were talking about it, how people are freaking, forging the vaccine cards.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, man. Like, and I'm with you too, Aaron. Like this movie is supposed to come out in November. For me, I want to see it in a theater, but it all depends on what's happening in November. Because all right, again, Zero Boss Pride podcast is about
it's not
culture.
political.
We're not trying to get political. All the views expressed are just the views of us. It has nothing to do with Zero Boss Pride's podcast. So yeah, man. So again, not to get too political, but people are taking the COVID cards that you're getting and they're reprinting them and copying them. And, and for me, it's like, why are you doing that though?
Yeah.
Like, because if you do have it, you're still spreading it.
Right.
And not to say that if you get the vaccine, you're safe from it, because you're not technically safe from it. It's just helping you fight it off in case you get it.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. And let's segue into WrestleMania. This is a good segue, by the way. Aaron, WrestleMania 37 just happened.
Yeah.
I used to watch wrestling as a kid.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I haven't watched it in a while, but I'm over here looking at the recap. Tell me, how did you feel WrestleMania 37 went? What was the highlights for you there?
Well, I had to work last night, and so I wasn't able to catch as much as I have wanted to. I feel like I'm probably not the best person to give highlights, but I feel like it was good. It was good to be in front of a live crowd, but I feel like it was just too soon.
Yeah.
I don't because I saw videos on Instagram and people posting, and you could even see in the crowd nobody was wearing a mask. And it's
Wow.
it's just I feel like it was just too soon. And again, I'm not trying to get political. I feel like there were certain cool aspects. It was delayed the first night because of rain, which is I still don't understand why they do it at these big outdoor stadiums. I know next year they've already announced that it's going to be in Texas, which I'm guessing it's going to be at the Superdome in Texas. So I feel like it needs to be in a dome setting. It can't you can't just be they want to do it in Florida. I think they've done it at Raymond James Stadium, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium. They've done it there for the past couple years now, in an outdoor setting. And as cool as I feel that is, and it's close to Orlando, which is kind of the main hub for WWE, I feel if it rains, it's going to affect your show. It's going to affect the quality. It's going to affect, in Florida, from you and I both know from living down there, it can rain any second. You know?
Yeah. It just starts raining on the nowhere. Like Bill Murray said, it's raining cats and dogs. Like, I don't know. And it just stops right away.
And and then it just stops. So, like one of the girls that when I was watching it, she was walking down the ramp and she slipped and fell, and it's like, because of the rain, and it's like, well, shit, so I don't know. I think that I'm glad that they put it on because last year there was, they really didn't do anything for WrestleMania last year because of the pandemic and everything going on. But at the same time, it's like, God, how do you justify that? Like how, obviously they're not going to take responsibility for anything, and Vince McMahon, and that they're going to be like, well, all these people entered at their own risk. You're right, they did, but I still feel like, man, I think it could have still been virtual,
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Aaron, is that I at work one day, I was watching wrestling, and this is when the pandemic started and everything was getting shut down. And it was kind of weird watching it with no audience.
Right.
Like it's just the guys going at it. And whatever, at least you're getting a show. But like you said, I feel like doing WrestleMania 37 with over 40,000 people.
25,000. It was 20. The Texas stadium was 40.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. COVID's just jumping around this WrestleMania like, la, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just don't know, man. And, I get it. Like, they want to make money off of this, but you can do like a pay-per-view. You can do like whatever you want to do. So,
well, now I'm guessing they still are doing pay-per-views. I mean, I guess in wrestling news, like the WWE network is no longer a thing.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was a member of the WWE network, and I just happened to be like online because I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch WrestleMania, like because that's how you watched all the pay-per-views and stuff like that. And it was $10 a month. It was cool. You had all this like exclusive content. And then all of a sudden somebody said rip April 5th, to the WWE network. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, so I logged in and it's like your account's been canceled, blah blah blah. But everybody's account was canceled because Peacock bought the rights to WWE. So now, and luckily with my Xfinity account, they give you the Peacock for free or whatever. So I'm happy with that.
Right.
But it's like, okay, well now I can't watch WWE on the network. I have to watch it on Peacock. And I was like, I thought that was a weird move because I felt like as like a company, you would want to keep everything as close to the best as possible without, but I'm guessing maybe Peacock probably made them an offer that they couldn't refuse. Like, we'll give you $1 billion to, have the rights to your stuff for, X amount of years because they know that they're going to get people to subscribe to the service.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting to know. I didn't know that, Aaron. I didn't know that Peacock bought the rights to the WWE network. All I know is that I remember when Vince McMahon did the XFL, which is like Extreme Football League, whatever. Yeah. And he's a businessman, and the WWE headquarters is nearby us here at home in Connecticut. So I know that's where he's based out of, and I mean, like, I don't know, like, it's like you said, like, we want to go to the movies, we want to go to concerts, we want to go to these events.
Yeah.
But, as far as, you and me, like, we just want to wait to just double check. I mean, because, I don't have any kids of my own. I don't have a family, but you're a family man. You have kids, you have a wife. Obviously, you want to make sure your family is safe, especially your kids.
Yeah.
That's very important. So, again, Zero Boss Prize podcast is not a pop culture podcast, but we're just expressing our views on things. So
yeah, and I think, I don't know, like, as much as if you could guarantee me that everybody has one of those vaccine cards and that it's legitimate, not somebody's copy of a friend's of a friend's of a friend's, which I don't know how you're going to guarantee that, but I don't know. Well, I guess only the future will hold. I would love to go sit down in a movie theater and feel comfortable and eat popcorn and drink my slushy, and like, because that was like the only time like I ever drank slushies was like at the movie theater, and it's like, okay, like, if you could promise me that everybody's going to be safe and socially distant and all this other stuff, but like, I don't even know around me where there's a movie theater, because the movie theaters that were around me were all the Cinemagics.
Oh, okay. Right,
So
right,
like
right,
I
right,
don't
right.
even know if there was a movie theater like where you could go. I guess Chunky's. Yeah, yeah. So like
Yeah,
if Chunky's is still open, which I would be okay going to Chunky's because that wasn't like a normal movie theater setting, anyways. For those
right.
of you who've never been to a Chunky's movie theater, it's kind of like a dinner and a show type thing. So like you would have these like long tables of like I think 8 or 10 people, and you could sit down at one of those and then watch. You would order dinner and watch the movie. So like that, to me, I would be okay going to that because as long as they, spaced everybody out accordingly.
No, yeah, yeah. That would be awesome. But like you said, they should definitely do it where like people show their COVID vaccine cards just to make it, more safe. But yeah, definitely, man. So if you guys haven't checked out WrestleMania 37, check it out. I think they got clips on YouTube right now of everything that happened. So definitely
Yeah,
check that.
it was a good show. I mean, the part that I watched, it was a good show. There were certain matches like I watched the Braun Strowman Shane McMahon cage match. That was actually really good. And Shane, of course, spoiler alert, he goes off the top, again, and he always does these dramatic falls, which some he's making his WrestleMania moments and all this other stuff, but it was a really good match. I thought it was really well done, and yeah, I think that there's good things in store for the future, but hopefully everybody just remains safe.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Okay, so we're at the 1 hour and 35 minute mark, man. Because we just have so much great news to give you guys. But Godzilla versus Kong. Aaron, we watched Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes,
And
sir.
this is all I gotta say. Raw! Kong very happy. Wow, did that movie kick some freaking double dragon ass?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Aaron, I'm gonna give this movie two very big Godzilla yells, all right? Because it was amazing. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was fantastic. I watched it with my son. We had watched the Kong movie before, or the Godzilla movie before. I think we ended up watching both of them, like in the weeks prior to this coming out. So he was pumped for it. I was hyping it up. I was like, buddy, what's coming out this Friday? Or Thursday or whatever it was. Godzilla versus Kong. And he's like, all right. So we sat down and watched it. I thought it was really well done. I liked how they incorporated Gojira's skull into
Yes.
and spoiler into
Yes. Spoiler alert.
into the Mecha Godzilla. I think when we talked about it on the podcast first, I didn't even notice the Mecha Godzilla in the trailer, like, and when you brought it up, I kind of was like, oh crap, like this is cool. And we were kind of debating, okay, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and we were somewhat right. Like Godzilla was the bad guy, but it really was the company, the company was the bad guy that was trying to make this Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, the movie was awesome, man. And listen, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, like Aaron said, man, there was a couple moments that just had me smiling from ear to ear. Now, one of the best epic moments for me was the Hong Kong battle when they were fighting in the streets and everything was neon. Okay, Godzilla, first of all, Kong is already on Hollow Earth, all right? And I don't know how Godzilla sensed him all the way on Hollow Earth, but when he did that blast and the blast blasted through China all the way back down to Hollow Earth, and they're just staring at each other like Kong's looking at him, he's looking at him, and you just see Kong just jump up, and I'm like, did this just happen? Did Godzilla just blast to the Earth's core right now?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but imagine their eyesight. Like they could see freaking 10,000 miles away. Oh yeah, I know he's up there. I thought that was a cool sequence too. I thought it was, it's kind of sad because it all got destroyed and shit. But I was like, wow, look at this. This is where like Kong's ancestors were. And
Right.
when he picks up that axe with the Godzilla scale on it, I flipped out. I was like, oh, and it started glowing. I thought that was cool that even though the scale was removed, that like
Right.
when Godzilla was powering up, that like it still glowed. I thought that was cool.
No, that was awesome, man. And you know what was cool about that part too, Aaron? And I was waiting for this when Godzilla picked up the axe and he's sitting on his like his chair, his throne.
Yes.
I was waiting for him to just look around left to right and just be like, "Somebody bring me my chalice and a cold glass of beer."
I got some like serious like Conan vibes when he did that. You know, I was like, oh, he's on his throne. You know, like this is he's the king. You know, like I was like, this is it. I thought it was cool. And then when it lit up, when he put the axe in after it lit up and it made the Godzilla like ring around the throne, I thought that was fantastic. I thought it was really, really well done, really well made.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I thought was gonna happen? I thought we were gonna get a Rambo montage scene of him strapping up, like when he found the axe. Just this epic montage scene to some cool rock music of just Godzilla getting ready for war, man. I was like, oh, is this where this is leading to? We're gonna get an awesome freaking Kong montage of him strapping up, ready for battle.
We need a hero.
That would have been amazing, man. But like,
Hey,
yeah,
you
man.
can still do it, brother. The power of the internet, man. I'm sure you could edit that movie and like,
Yes, you know what? Somebody out there probably already did that, man. I'm pretty sure somebody did that already.
like
But
the short circuit scene, like when Johnny Five, you know, where have all the young ones gone?
and was he chasing the boat or the car? Like he was like on the boat deck and he jumps Johnny Five. Okay, we're going into a whole rabbit hole. We're freaking short circuit and Johnny Five right now.
Kong gets his freaking rocket launcher and his axe, and he's like, duh, duh.
Oh man, that's hilarious, man. But yeah, man, like, and then another funny part that had me dying was when like, okay, so spoiler alert again, Kong's fighting Godzilla, beats up Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla starts fighting Kong, Godzilla's on the floor, Kong grabs the axe, Godzilla's just getting up, like grabbing his wind, looks towards his left, sees Godzilla grabbing the axe, and literally blows the blue fire to burn the axe on fire so that Godzilla can so that Kong can destroy Mecha Godzilla. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, it's like Godzilla looked at him and was like, bro, I got you right now. He just blew the axe. Like that was amazing, man.
Yeah.
It
was good. I mean, that fight sequence, it took a while to get there. You know what I mean? Because, like, I was like, okay, you know, I think my wife came home from work that day and we were watching it. And she's like, is this the end? Because, like, it was the fight scene with Godzilla and Kong. And, you know, Godzilla ended up, you know, kicking Kong's ass in Tokyo or whatever. But then I was like, well, it can't be the end because they haven't fought Mechagodzilla yet. You know what I mean? Right. So I was like, she's like, okay, and there was still like another 45 minutes left in the movie or whatever. You know, I was like, all right. Yeah, I thought it was really well made. I thought that the CGI was really well done, and I think, you know, in the world of COVID, and we talked about this before, I think you're going to see more CGI based movies because there's less exposure, you know, moving forward, at least for the next couple of years. You know, you're going to see more animated, like the Tom and Jerry's, the Godzilla versus Kongs, you know, stuff that could be done at home or in an office setting where you're not around a bunch of people, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. The movie was just amazing, and I was waiting. You know what I was waiting for, Aaron? And I thought this would have ended the movie perfectly. Is after that fight, after they just mess up Mechagodzilla, if Kong and Godzilla just walked up to each other and just gave each other a high five, like that would have ended the movie for me so epically, man. But man, like,
or what about if it was like the the Breakfast Club ending? And Godzilla just holds up the axe and just like, yeah.
He just
not Godzilla. Kong just holds up the axe and is like, yeah. You know,
just freeze frame
on the football field. You know,
that would be freaking hilarious, man. Just a freeze frame of Godzilla just winning, like, yeah, like, and then and then for no reason you hear the Denver the Last Dinosaur theme song playing in the background. that would be epic. But yeah, man, I'm hoping that so Legendary Pictures, they do a lot of these monster universe. They did Pacific Rim, They did the Kong films, the Godzilla American films. So I'm hoping that because like how well this did, it doesn't stop the American Godzilla filmmaking. Like hopefully they do something. Like I would love to see like Pacific Rim meets up with Kong and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Or like another kaiju, something happens and now they got to team up again. Like,
Yeah.
I hope that they continue with this universe, man.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed that there wasn't like an after credit scene though. Like I will say that like I think there was like a Godzilla roar at the end of the credits, but like I was hoping for like, you know, just something like, okay,
Right.
is there going to be another? And I know they did Kong Skull Island and they did Godzilla King of Monsters or whatever, and they were setting up for this, you know, and if you're going to make the trilogy, okay, the trilogy's done, right?
Right.
But like at the same time, I wish that they would have, you know, done a little bit more to kind of like tease you to be like, okay, there's going to be another one, because I think people are going to watch this, you know, years from now and be like, damn, this was a really, really well done movie. You know, in an era where, you know, we've talked about like, you know, movies in the past year. And when's the last time we really gave like a really positive review for a movie? I don't think we have.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think we have, man, the last year because due to the pandemic, not a lot of stuff has come out. Even Coming to America, the sequel didn't do too well. I didn't hear too many good reviews on that. I mean, in 2 weeks we got Mortal Kombat coming out.
I can't wait for that, man.
Yeah, we got Mortal Kombat Friday, April 23rd on HBO Max. So that's another one that we got coming up, man. But yeah, man, I think this was the first like release streaming wise that really got rave reviews, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, my son liked Tom and Jerry, and my son liked the Scooby Doo movie. But like, you know, if you want to take a 6-year-old's, you know, like movie review, you know, I can have him come on the podcast and do a movie review and be like, it was cool. He just liked when Tom or Jerry was like shaking his butt on the what was it, the fax machine or the copy?
Yeah, on the fax machine. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like this was the first movie since they've kind of sent the at-home movies, and I'm trying to think, like, okay, what other movies like came out? You know?
I think Mulan was the first one from Disney for Disney Plus. Like it was Mulan.
Oh, Onward.
Oh yes,
Onward was
Onward. Then it was Soul.
I think it was Onward, Mulan, then Soul.
Yeah,
and
Onward, Mulan, then Soul.
What's the one that there was one that just came out? I'm drawing a blank.
Scooby Doo, Tom and Jerry.
No, it was on Disney Plus, and I was like, I'll watch that, but oh no, it's not out yet. I think that's the first one that I'm actually going to pay the extra money for. Is the Black Widow?
Yo, yes, Black Widow. Yeah. So yeah, it started with those films, and then Warner Brothers started releasing everything on HBO Max right after that. But yeah, man. So me and Aaron, I think we both agree that we give this 2 thumbs up. The Godzilla versus Kong.
I give it 2 Kong thumbs up, and you give it 2 Godzilla roars. we'll be the Siskel and Ebert over here.
I know, right? But yeah, wow, man, we really went in deep. We had a lot of news to catch up, and we're almost at 2 hours. Okay, before we leave, Suicide Squad trailer. Aaron, we watched it.
Yeah.
Quick recap. Okay, the first Suicide Squad, it was all right. Wasn't anything too spectacular. Now we're getting this new Suicide Squad, and the thing that got to me was, okay, I'm not an expert on Suicide Squad or on the comics, but there was a kaiju at the end of the trailer, and it was Staryu. I think that's what they call him. And I know a lot of
Staryu's a Pokemon,
or Star something. That's the name of the character in the film. But like when I saw that, like a starfish, like just blocking buildings and destroying things, and then like Sylvester Stallone is the voice for the shark. And in the trailer, when he rips that guy in half, I was just like, all right, I'm really digging this movie so far. And John Cena is in the film. I heard through the director and through Cena saying that he had a great time and that he played the character well. So I don't know, like, how are you feeling about the Suicide Squad?
I don't know. I mean, like, obviously Margot Robbie, she plays a phenomenal Harley Quinn. I love her rendition of Harley Quinn.
Right.
It's weird to me. Again, I don't follow the Suicide Squad in the comic books as much as I would like to, but like, why all of a sudden is it a completely new squad with the exception of Margot Robbie? I did like, what was it? The John Cena was the Peacemaker or something like that.
Yeah.
You got Polka Dot Man. We were kind of talking that there was all these like really obscure DC villains, like, in the DC universe. Because if you play any of like the Lego DC games, like my son does, there's like Condiment King and like all of these like really obscure Polka Dot Man, and so like I don't know, like I'm sure they'll connect the dots, being like, this is what happened. Because if I remember, at the end of the first Suicide Squad, I don't think anybody died. Like,
I don't think anybody died, and I haven't seen it since the first time I watched it. All I remember is that they were fighting some monster. There was the fire guy. There was Will Smith. There was Margot Robbie.
I know the fire guy did die. I remember. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
He was the one that like incinerated himself or whatever. He went supernova or some shit.
Yeah.
But Will Smith, like Deadshot, right? Deadshot. Yeah. Then you had Killer Croc.
Yeah. Margot Robbie. I forgot who else, man. Again, I'm not an expert on Suicide Squad or anything like that, or the characters, but like, I'm hoping that this film. See, DC's their animated movies are amazing, man. They're really good. And if you have HBO Max, you can catch up on all of them. But like, I think DC, especially with the Snyder Justice League cut, man, like, I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to just save the DC film universe. And, we have this coming out. We have Shazam. We have a couple other DC films that are coming out. And, they're trying. I give it up to DC. They're trying, And look, I like Batman. I'm not a big Superman fan. I appreciate Superman, but I'm really more of a Batman kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, let's see. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Suicide Squad is going to come out, and whether it's in streaming or in theaters, I'm going to watch it. I like Margot Robbie. I think she does an amazing performance, playing that character of Harley Quinn. So
yeah, and if you haven't seen the Birds of Prey movie, I recommend that. I thought that was a good movie. It didn't get the I guess the accolades in the movie theaters when it came out. I don't know if people just didn't kind of make the connection. I remember they changed the name of the movie. Like, it was like this really long title when it first came out, and then they changed the name of the movie because I don't think they put Harley Quinn in the title, and then they did the later. I don't know, but like I feel like they're like, with at least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, if you watched Captain America, and then you watched Iron Man, and then you watched Hulk, whatever, however, the plan was to interconnect all of these universes.
Right.
And I feel like with DC, you can watch Batman, and then Batman versus Superman, and Aquaman, and there's really not that cohesive, they're all standalone movies, and eventually you find out that, like, I think it was at the end of like Wonder Woman, where like Bruce Wayne sends like Diana a picture of Chris Pine or something like that, and is like, he'll always be remembered or some shit like that. Like, so like you could say, okay, like the Batman and Wonder Woman were, that's how they connected that universe. But if you watch the others, there wasn't really that like one like piece of gum that like said, okay, yes, eventually Batman's gonna go here and Wonder Woman's gonna go here. Like, it's the same with the Suicide Squad. Like, the first movie and then Birds of Prey, there was a little bit of connection, but then like, where's the connection to now this one?
Yeah, and that's the problem with DC, like you said, Aaron. It's like Marvel had 10 years to connect all these movies, or 10 years or more to connect all these movies together, whereas DC, they were trying to do 10 years of work in like 2 years. Right. And they're trying to catch up with Marvel, and I feel like, hey, don't worry about what the other competitor is doing. Do you? just trying to make good movies. Take your time if you have to take your time, and that's what counts. But yeah, man, I'm hoping the movie does good, man. I'm gonna watch it, and like Aaron said, if you haven't watched the Emancipation Proclamation Declaration of Harley Quinn, that long title that they gave it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I remember like everybody was like, "What the hell is this?" Like, and it flopped at the box office.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know if like the studio was like, "Listen, this movie didn't do good. Let's just change the title real fast." I don't know if by changing the title they thought they were gonna like get like a hit or something like that, but like, it didn't do as good. Again, like I give it up to like Margot Robbie for playing a good like Harley Quinn, man. I think she's like the best person to play that character. So
I think you're right. It was Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Like, what the hell? Like again, you got these fucking people. Excuse my language. You got these people sitting in the boardroom going, okay, we're going to name the Battletoads Zit and Rash. And, okay, you know what? We're going to name this the Emancipation Proclamation Fantabulous One Harley Quinn. Like, really? Like, you think that's a good freaking movie title? And just to say Birds of Prey, the story of Harley Quinn, or just call it Birds of Prey.
Yeah, just call it that. Like, we don't need this long freaking example of something. Like, Jesus Christ.
It reminded me of the old Limp Bizkit album, chocolate starfish and hot dog flavored water.
I remember that.
It's like, my God. What? The Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Like, what?
Like, try to say that 10 times. No,
califragilistic expialidocious.
No, that's a tongue twister. Oh man, wow. We catched up. We did it.
We did. We needed to.
Did it. We catched up on everything that's been happening in pop culture wise. Yeah, man. So I want to thank everybody for staying tuned and listening to the podcast. Again, watch the video. This is going to be the first video side. I'm going to add a couple edits to this, a couple other things. So check it out on YouTube. This will be posted. Check out the audio side on anchor.fm. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook. I'll be posting, when the new episodes come out there. So that'll be linked up to there. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to, the summertime is here. Flea markets are open. Yard sales are open. Toys are coming around. This is it. This is where we start collecting until the fall weather / winter time comes. And Aaron, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, I said we needed to catch up. I know this one, for those of you who follow us, it's probably a little late. We've had a lot going on. We're hoping to get to a regular streaming schedule here shortly. I'm setting up my little, streaming area downstairs, but it's freaking cold down there, so that's why you got this ugly ass backdrop compared to Steve's amazing freaking toy section behind you that he's gonna charge women money to go see. It's good. I hope to get on a regular streaming schedule, that we can, pump these out, every couple weeks. And, I'm excited to have my own like little area down there. I'm excited for the summer because that's when we find the most of our stuff. Toy hunting, you never stop hunting, but, it just seems like you're able to find more stuff because you have more opportunities to find more stuff over the summer. So, everybody stay safe. Everybody do your part, and, let's get, continue to get through this, and, happy hunting, and, let's have a good summer.
And with that, we're out of here. We're serving you 3 scoops of pop culture. We're out.